Now, I'm at Hope Avenue today and I wanted to take you behind the scenes of everything that's happening with the dogs at the moment. It's a wonderful day, the sun is out, the flowers are blooming, I've got Tina beside me just out of shot here. But I wanted to take you behind the scenes and show you what happens with the dogs. So obviously you see lots of nice recovery videos, you see lots of fun videos of feeding the dogs. But today I wanted to show you more of the nitty gritty and the stuff that goes into helping the dogs that maybe you wouldn't think about. So this is behind the scenes, a proper look at what's happening with the dogs here on Hope Avenue. Now, a little update on Tina. I'm usually quite upbeat with these updates, but Tina's not doing so good at the moment. She's really in the later stages of kidney failure now. You can see her eyes are starting to really struggle with her skin is starting to fade off. She's got a couple of hot patches, which are just pieces of her body that have just had infections all of a sudden. She's also been vomiting a little bit. Her breath, I can't tell you a lie, her breath is really bad. That's just the kidneys are failing. Her spirits are still really good. She's just a little bit more lethargic. She's a little bit sort of slower, and I've tailored her life towards that. I don't take her to the land here all the time. I keep her at home and she's sleeping a lot. She sleeps right beside my bed, never more than a couple of feet away. And she's still very, very happy. And when the time comes, which unfortunately is not going to be too long now, Tina will just slip away one day and the decision will be made for her, because I don't want to see her suffering and go to a bad place. And unfortunately she is nearly there. But she's still got enough joy in her. We're going to go to the beach. We're going to go to, where else does she love going? We'll just take, to be honest, you know what? We'll go to the beach and that's about it, because Tina doesn't need much in life. She just needs to be with her human, and she just needs to have the simple things in life. That's all she wants. So she's still here. Unfortunately, I give her a mark out of 10 every week for her health. It's been a 2 or a 3 out of 10 this week because she's just struggling. But she's still looking fantastic, I think you'll say. So we'll look after you, Tina, won't we? One of the biggest, toughest mental parts obviously is my own dog Snoop. I've had him 11, 12 years now. He's about 14. His operation has been a success. We saved him, but now his legs are really starting to go. And at the moment what's happening is I've just got sick dogs everywhere, and it feels like there's no end to it. It goes on runs like this with the dogs, sometimes where it's just everything's kind of okay, but then they'll all seem to get sick at the same time, like they're talking to each other. And it can just be like trying to keep all the balls in the air at one stage. But Snoopy is obviously an extra worry because he's very old and he's very special to me. And there he is. He's still doing okay. That's a good walk, Snoop. You're sort of bouncing, aren't you? Rather than walking these days. Now, while there's all the dogs at the land, the biggest responsibility or the biggest pressure that I feel is definitely from the dogs at home. So I have Snoop, I have Tina, and I have Jumbo. They're all sick. Even though Tina doesn't look like it, she's looking so beautiful today. Snoop is especially tough to handle because he's always falling down, as you can see in the videos, and he's having trouble with his toilets. We have to do a little bit of physiotherapy on him every day. Tina's not so bad. Her only problems recently, she started being a little bit sick, so she started vomiting, so we have to get her on an IV drip to get some, I'm not sure, some anti-vomiting medicines into her. I do find it the toughest part is when you've been looking after sick dogs out and about all day, that you come home to the two that you love the most, obviously. Not that you love dogs more than any others, but the two that are really close to your heart, and they're struggling, and it's like they need all your attention, and it's a whole night of care or a whole morning of care ahead for them, and that's tough. I'm sure people know it from looking after family members or sick dogs. Tina's not sick, by the way. She's just having a sleep. She's yeah, that's the hardest part of the day, I must say, is when you got to keep the spirits up for these wonderful creatures and look after them and give them their medicines and their creams and their physiotherapy and their drips and their vet trips and all those sort of things. But I'm not complaining. It's just to explain what goes into looking after so many dogs. So this is little Sophie, who's the bravest of the 3 puppies. The other 2 are still underneath. They've obviously had really bad experiences with humans because they're terrified. She's been trying to bite me, that's why I'm holding her with the towel. She bit me and Jules, or no, one of the others actually, but she's the one that we're making most progress with. She doesn't mind being held, but the others are still terrified 4 days later. But we're working on them slowly, giving them little bits of food. I think she's gorgeous, so we'll get her home, but she's still just figuring out that humans are not bad. This big fella here is Brutus.
Unfortunately, we had to relocate him from where he lived initially, just due to his size, and he's got one of those sort of intimidating looking heads when really he's the biggest cuddle boy you'll ever meet. He's literally not aggressive at all, but having said that, if you weren't a fan of dogs and you were riding along and he came running after you, sort of nipping at your heels trying to get to interact with him, you could find him a bit scary. So just for the safety of all the other dogs in the area, we scooped him up, and now he's here at Happy Doggo land and he's loving it. He's been sterilised. He's super healthy. If anything, he's probably a little bit too healthy, and in Thailand we call that big boy. So big lad is soon to go on a diet, just to take off maybe a kilo or two to see how he goes. Obviously he's been living too good a life.
Hello, doggies. So Buster has had his big operation. You can see that it's healing up nicely. He's become really fit now. He's getting fitter by the day. He's going on 2-kilometer walks. He's a big cuddle bug. So Buster is doing well. His tail is actually also doing well. Look at the improvement on that tail compared to what it was. So big Buster is on the mend. Who do we have next? Lily. One-eyed Lily is always causing trouble. She's the big troublemaker. She always wants to fight and get attention, really. But her eye is healed up nicely. And next up for her is a home. That's Mr. Buster. Who else have we got? So little Solo is growing up into big Solo. You can see she would really like a home. That's our next thing, and that's why she's being all cute with her paws, because she knows we're talking about getting her a home. So she's old enough now, they can travel at 7 months, so she's going to be able to start looking for a home really soon once we get her sterilized is the next job. Up here we've got Dang, who is really the best girl. She's always quiet. She was the one who had the big tumor hanging off her. She is ready to go home on Friday. She's been here for about 50 days. All her medicine has been taken on board because we found other problems with her. So she's going to go home. She lives in a temple with some monks in a very happy place. So she'll be happy to go home and see her friends. So Buttons, who you'll remember, is the lovely little girl who checked herself in. She checked herself in here when we didn't even have this play area. She just started wanting to live here because she was an abandoned tiny little puppy. She's been in foster with Caroline, and now she's gonna stay here tonight because Caroline's got a little event to go to tonight. Oh, Buttons, we'll let you down. But Buttons is traveling to London in about 2-3 weeks time, and she's gonna have a lovely forever home over there. Who else have we got? Big Brutus, who I got Rod to introduce you to. The problem with Brutus is he's too fat. He's much too fat. He's much too fat. Aren't you, mister? Now this is Essie. She lives in a migrant camp and they really like her, but they obviously didn't have enough money to get her fixed up. You can see that her leg has actually been hit by a car, but on top of that we think it might be cancerous. So what we're doing at the moment is she's had a vet trip. There's a good chance that the leg might have to get amputated, but she's actually quite old. If you look at her teeth, she's about 8 or 9. So in this case it's probably going to be like $1,000 operation, about 30,000 baht. So you have to kind of make decisions like what's best for the dog. Can the dog live with 3 legs? Because it's quite hard to learn at a later age, but also she's already living with 3 legs, so maybe it's a good idea to take the leg off. Maybe it's treatable, maybe she's too old, maybe it's not treatable, maybe she can live with it. So there's a lot of decisions. It's not just like fix the dog up and take her off. So she's been here for about 4 or 5 days. Jules and Valeria are looking at her, the vets are looking at her, her owners know that she's here, and they were all saying goodbye to her and kissing her off. So she's a much loved dog, but she just needs a little bit of help. So not an easy one to figure out, but her name is Essie and she's got her little safe space here, and we'll do the best for her.
This tail. What's this tail?
This lovely girl sitting in this shade we call Special. She's from the pier. She's one of the just shy of 100 pier dogs all living there in Pankar. Unfortunately, over the last few weeks there's been a dramatic drop in her weight, and just her energy levels are getting quite low. Her gums now, you can see they're very white. So we've tried her on some medication at the pier, but just to be on the safe side, we also raced it to the vets to make sure we're on the right track. I think she's about two and a little bit. She does have a bit of a battle ahead. Her blood results are terrible. Yeah, unfortunately, the same old ticks. You know, you just one or two latch on for too long and you miss them, and then by the time they're treated, they've already sort of contracted blood parasites, and then the blood parasites give them a range of like blood-borne diseases. And unfortunately, you can't remember what the technical names for both of them are, but unfortunately, Special has both.
So you probably all remember little Puppy. He lived with Pamela and Poppy up on my feeding ground with Valeria, and then he went missing for a few days because his leg was badly hit. He had a traffic accident, so we had to take him off the roads. You can see the massive surgery that he's had done here. Really big surgery. He had a, what did he have, Jules? Broken leg? Don't know the medical term, but he definitely had part of his leg broken. So his surgery was a big success. The biggest problem with Tommy now is he's a puppy, he's only young, but we have to keep him under arrest. He's not allowed because the bone would slip out and it has to grow a bit. So 2 weeks, little Tommy, 2 weeks you have to stay in your little kennel. He goes for little gentle walks, but it's for his own good. So Tommy has got a chance of survival. He would have been dead if it wasn't, if that leg wasn't fixed up, because he wouldn't have been able to get food, he wouldn't have been able to fight, he wouldn't have been able to stand up for himself on the street. So big operation, but a big success for Tommy. Now, I think with this video, I had a bit of a worry that it was going to be a little bit sort of sad and depressing, the video, but I also wanted to show the reality sometimes of looking after the dogs. You've seen quite a few at the land. You've seen little operations, puppies who bit us and were very aggressive and now need to be totally rehabilitated. Tommy's had his leg run over. We've had dogs shot recently. We've had Buster who was on a short chain. Like, these are all just really hard, complex problems to solve, and that's why I think sometimes people think when you look after dogs that it's just, you know, maybe take them on a walk and give them a few pets and it's all puppies, and maybe I convey that in my videos by having happy, upbeat videos, but without this video being sad, I just wanted to share the reality of not just the emotional pain and the hard things that you have to do, but the hard decisions you have to take. Like little Essie, who's got her leg badly injured, that's going to be $1,000 operation. Or do you try and fix it slowly, or do you not fix it and use the money for something else? There's so many hard decisions that you jump from one to the next, like even getting dogs away from abusive owners, and then you come home and you've got the likes of beautiful Tina here, which is why I don't often do this enough, lie in the hammock with her. It's beautiful to have moments like this. It's why I always say, if I could, I'm not short of, you know, resources or ambition or anything like that. The only thing I'm short of is time. If people could give me one gift, it would be time, because I would love a day where I could sit for 3 hours with Tina in the hammock and put a TV over there and watch a box set or read a book. But you don't have that. You jump from one tricky problem to the next, and it is about problem solving. My phone will be lighting up after I finish this video with the next 3 problems, and you have to triage them and prioritize them and fix the ones you can. You can't fix them all. But this shouldn't be a sad video. It's like a lot of dogs' lives are being changed, and a lot of them are for the better. Some of them you can't change. Some of them it's only for 6 months, like Tina here, but I think a difference has been made, and that's what I really wanted to convey in this video. Even though it's hard, progress is being made.